All right, awesome. So nice to see you all here. We say Eba, Crafty, and I. It's just the four of us for today. I'm going to do this real quick. Start randomizing. Eba, should I randomize you too?
Please don't, because I haven't read about those.
All right, okay.
So I don't.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Hope you can see my screen. So, Crafty and Lucy and I are going to pick numbers from 0 to 5. I have Lucy. I can't hear you. Awesome. 3 and 4. So Lucy. Crafty.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Which ones are remaining? What have I done? Which one's remaining? 0 and 5. Okay, let's randomize. Rand 5. What am I doing?
Using Rubik randomize.
Okay, the first number is 2. Who's 2? Crafty. Second number is 1. Who's 1? Crafty again. Crafty. I hope it's you, Lucy. 2 again. 2. So Crafty will be taking us through the JS objects. Let me just hand the mic over to him a little bit. Stop sharing.
Oh, hi. Yeah, so I'll be taking you through JavaScript objects. I don't know if I will be using the no. I don't know if I'll be using the terminal or the W3 school reference. Whichever. Sorry. Okay. So let me use the W3 schools. I shared my screen.
No, yes.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, it's not visible. So yeah. So I'll start with what I learned today. Actually, I've been reading the JavaScript objects. So you can follow through as I take you through the objects. So my name is Crafty, as you know. Crafty Coder. That's my alias, actually. My name is Malcolm. Yeah. So we will start by creating objects, and JavaScript objects are quite funny because hashes in Ruby are like objects in JavaScript, but it's different here. really different. Yeah. So we will start by creating an object person. So we'll give the person attributes, property, and value. So name, Crafty, and age, and maybe height. Sorry, no,
Can you make it sound clever?
oh, sorry. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah, person name, age, height, maybe 5'8". As a range, just not centimeters. Okay, so yeah, we've created a person object, an object person. So to access the values in the object, you call them like methods. So person.name, it will give you the value. Or you can also say person and then pass in value like an array. It will give you the same. Yeah, so and while you write person with name and pass in the function, it will give you an error. The person name is not a function. Yeah. So we have that, and basically we can. Okay, we have these. So we create the variable, the object name, and then the object values and the property and the value. Yeah, so on calling, we have it describe the property and the value, as you can see. So and define and create a JavaScript object with an object literal. So this is what we have actually done. This one. And how to access, it's using the dot, calling it as a function. No, calling the property, the object dot the property name, or accessing it as an array since it's a hash, as an object in the dictionary. Yeah, so that's all on it. So on objects, object methods, if we had objects on it, we would put the parentheses. But you can see the error we got is that the person.name is not a function, since you have not described it as a function, it's a property. Yeah, so so do not declare strings, numbers, and booleans as objects. When a JavaScript variable is declared with a keyword new, the variable is created as an object. So you can see declares a new string object, the new string, the new number declares a y as a number object and z as a boolean object. So we should avoid the string, numbers, and boolean objects. They complicate your code and slow down your execution speed. So we'll get to that later. So if you have maybe anything to add or anything to share on objects, and chip in and say something. If you are clear, you can go on.
So can you see that object properties? So can you say that object properties?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Get it? You can now go.
Right, sorry, I was asking, can we say that object properties are methods?
No, object properties are not methods in real sense.
No, like if at all we are comparing this to Ruby, would we say that because we're calling dot something on an object, so it's probably something else.
It's like calling. It's like calling an attribute of the class. It's only that the method on which we call the property is the same, but it's not. So when calling objects, we use the parentheses. But when calling the properties, we just use the dot with no parentheses.
Yeah.
Anyone has a different view on that?
So, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
So anyone else? Lucy?
Hello,
Yeah,
Eskia.
I didn't have anything.
It makes sense,
But he's all.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess.
So we can move on to JavaScript scopes if you are all comfortable with that. Or okay.
Anaweza tupatia the right words tuweke hapo. Anaweza tupatia the right words
So
tuweke
in
hapo.
JavaScript, there are two types of scope: local scope and global scope. So JavaScript has function scope. Each function creates a new scope. Scope determines the accessibility or visibility of these variables. Okay, so variables defined inside a function are not accessible, visible from outside the function.
Sasa.
Local JavaScript variables. Variables declared within a JavaScript function become local to the function. Local variables have local scope. They can also be accessed within the function. So basically what they're saying is that you can't access a variable declared inside a function, which is a local variable, outside the function, unless calling the function itself. Yeah. So, for example, if we had function print name, just a minute. Would you explain? So, for example, if we have the function print name, and inside we have, oh, sorry. Okay. Function print name. And inside we have variable name equals to get it. And we close that. So when we call the function, when you call the variable name, will give a reference error, name is not defined. This is because it's defined inside the function, making it a local variable, not a global variable. So, but if we had defined, maybe let's say name1 equals to get, and the function now function print name1. So here we syntax unexpected. Oh yeah, sorry. Function more. Call the function. Still not printing. So console.log. So print will print the value since it's defined outside the function. So it makes it a global variable. Any function we defined, no matter the number of functions, it can access the variable name1.
So what does console.log do?
Console.log is used to print on the console. Yeah, unlike document.write, it's used on the DOM, which is another topic. So, Lucy?
I think whatever you wanted to demonstrate online, can you go back to your terminal? Uh, on name.
Uh-huh.
Right now, logged the same.
Mhm.
Right now, if you log the same, you'll not get a reference error.
Why?
Try that. Try that. No, don't console log. Just name.
Name is not defined. So let me explain further. Okay, we have a lot of errors here. So here, this is where our function was.
Yes.
So this here we have function print name, in which we have declared the variable name to Getty. So when you call the word name, it can't be accessed outside the function. This is because it's a local variable. It can only be accessed by the function. But on this case, we defined it outside the function itself. So in short, the variable name can only be accessed by the function, by calling the function, and not outside it. But here, name1, it was outside, and on the function we referenced it, and it was that was the bad code. Yeah, here we called name1 inside the function, and it was accessed. And calling the function outside, we return the value name1. Yeah. So since local variables are only recognized inside their functions, variables with the same name can be used in different functions. Is that clear? Okay, yeah. So global JavaScript variables. A variable declared outside a function, name1 in our case, becomes global. A global variable has global scope. All scripts and functions on a web page can access it. Yeah. So if the name variable was in the print name in our website, it can only be accessed when we call an event calling the function. When an event calls the function, that's when we can access the variable. Else, it's a global variable. That's a global scope. Okay, so I'm not JavaScript. So JavaScript variables. In JavaScript, objects and functions are also variables. Scope determines the accessibility of variables, objects, and functions from different parts of the code. Keyword different. Okay, so automatically global. If you assign a value to a variable that has not been declared, if you assign a value to a variable that has not been declared, it will automatically become a global variable. This code example will declare a global variable car name even if the value is assigned inside a function. Okay, so this is a different one. So my function here called function equals to my function car name Volvo. So who can explain this?
I think it's really confusing even for me.
Pardon?
I think it's confusing even for me because they're talking about a global variable, and the variable is already defined inside a function, meaning it's only accessible to that scope. So I don't
Okay.
understand why they're calling it global.
Anyone else? Eba?
I'm also confused.
Okay.
I'm reading on the V3 page now, trying to figure out what we're talking about.
Okay, so I think the way we declare variables, how do we declare variables? I think it's by doing this. And we can also do name3 equals to who can tell the difference? So according to me, of which you're open for, you can share your views too. This is where we declare the variable, and this is where we assign the name to the value. Yeah, so maybe we can try this. We can try this one. So function, func1. Let's say console log. No, I'm actually doing the wrong thing. You're supposed to declare sign. I've exhausted the names. Let me use Lucy. I'm Lucy. Info. You have many names here. So. Oh shit. Sorry. Okay. Let's clear. Words function. Function print name, and on that we will have name equals to Malcolm, and close that one. So when we console.log, no, when you call the function print name and find, so let's create a new function. So here we assigned, we are trying to check if by declaring they meant having the var keyword. So function, sorry, print name. This is lowercase. As you can realize, the other one used camel case. So var name is to a moment of truth. Print name. Oh, I think we have an error. If you have realized. Print name. Sorry. Print name. The thing is, I never console logged console.log the name. Forgive me.
So is it that every time I'm doing it in the terminal, I have to console.log?
We want when the function called, it will log the past argument. It's like puts in Ruby. So keep forgetting the semicolon. You can forgive me for that. I'm not used to it. Console log the name and of our function. So and try print name. Oh, we have that, and we can't access. We can't. We can access the name outside the function. Or is it because we defined the name?
How about you try with var this time and then see if it's the same thing?
Let's try it that way. Okay. Oh, we can access it outside. Yeah. So let's try with var. Quick this time. Oh, var. Malcolm. So name 1. So we can see the difference. So in our first function, is this assigning or declaring? Yeah.
I think the first one is more of assigning and the second is a declaration plus assigning. I'm not sure.
Okay. So because the first one is global, but the second one is not global. So automatically global. If you assign a value to a variable that has not been declared, Okay.
I think what that means is that when you declare a variable, you have to use the keyword var. So once you haven't declared a variable with var, it becomes global. That's why in the first case, we were able to access Malcolm Peter. But in the second case, we're not able to because we use the keyword var. So I think it only becomes a local variable if it's defined with the keyword var. That's my opinion.
So it becomes a local variable when it's defined with var or a global variable?
Sorry, when it's not defined with var, it becomes a global variable, just like in the first case. Yeah. Malcolm, do you think otherwise?
Actually, I think then the word name was declared before this code. If we go beyond, we can see that we had declared the variable name. And I think this is what they mean. So I'm trying, without using the keyword var here, to assign phone. Since we started, we have not used the phone variable we have not declared it. So let us try if actually they mean declaring outside or just using the keyword var. So console.log phone and pray. This we have called the function, so we don't know. We can't say that the moment of truth is when we call the word. Yeah. So that's declaration according to our discovery, and the other one is not declaring. So I don't know the name var. Actually, we need to find what the name var actually does in our case.
Let me apologize to Eba. I was so wrong. I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah, and Lucy too. Lucy, you're so quiet. Okay, so here, car name, we have not used the keyword var. I think this is what they mean by assigning a value to a variable that has not been declared. So by using the word var, we are declaring, and by not using, we are not declaring. We are assigning, as you had said. So that's what they mean here. It will automatically become a global variable, which we have proven in our case. So this code example will declare a global variable car name, even if the value is assigned inside a function. Even if it is assigned inside a function. Yeah, so our phone, iPhone. So just that you can see. We started here till here. Sorry. Strict mode. All modern browsers support running JavaScript in strict mode. You will learn more about how to use strict mode in a later chapter of this tutorial. So let's not rush on strict mode. Global variables are not created automatically in strict mode. Okay, so global variables in HTML. With JavaScript, the global scope is the complete JavaScript environment. In HTML, the global scope is the window object. All global variables belong to the window object. Example, car name equals to Volvo. Var car name equals to Volvo. Is this var or var? Yeah, so
Is it car or car?
okay, so that's a debate for another day. Do not create global variables unless you intend to. Pardon?
You've not talked about. You've not talked about HTML variables, global variables in HTML.
Oh, sorry. The var confused me. So let me go back to the top. With JavaScript, the global scope is the complete JavaScript environment. In HTML, the global scope is the window object. Okay. Okay, I have been told that you have a question, Eba. So, okay, so if the variable is declared inside a function equals to local scope. Okay, no problem, Eba. So yeah, if the variable is declared inside a function, it becomes a local, only subject to the function itself. But if it's declared outside the function, it becomes global. Yeah, but also if we declare, how can I say it? If we create a variable inside a function without declaring it, it becomes a global automatically. Yeah, I hope it's clear. You can just say if it's clear or not. Okay. Okay, so if the variable is declared inside a function, as you have said, it becomes a local variable. But if we assign, okay, give me a moment. So if we declare inside, it's local. And if we just assign, it becomes global automatically. That is not using the var keyword. Okay, so and if it's declared outside, it becomes a global. I don't know if I'm clear.
I can try and make it clear.
Okay.
Like if we've defined a variable outside a function, it's a global variable, right?
Yeah.
But if we define it inside a variable with the keyword var, it's still local.
Yeah.
But if we don't define it, okay, if we define it inside the same function, but without the keyword var, it is a global variable.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's clear. Thank you. So in our case, if we had used var phone, it would have been a local variable. But since we never used it, it became global. So, but if we use var outside, var fonts, it becomes global. Either we include the word var or not, it becomes global. Yeah, so that's basically it. And what haven't I covered? If we use var, it becomes local. If we don't use it, it becomes global. And if we use it outside or don't, it will still become global. Yeah? Oh yeah, thanks. Okay, so
Honestly, I have no idea how to explain this.
the global variable selection.
Yeah. Single. And what do we mean by window object?
I think it's the okay, I'm not sure.
JavaScript, the DOM, the document object model. Is it what with JavaScript the global scope is the complete JS environment. In HTML, the global scope is the window object. So whenever the browser passes it passes HTML, it creates an object called the window. If you inspect this page, okay, then you can do window dot anything because you have an object called window. On your console, just go to your console. You can do window dot location, maybe. Enter. Yeah, so it will give you your location or something. I'm not sure. Now where you are, the page that you are at.
Yeah.
So you're right now at that. So there's that object that is created called the window that contains the whole HTML. So this means that the variable that you created is valid within the whole of the document. The window is an object created by HTML. So if you have a global variable, then the variable will be valid anywhere within the window.
Oh.
The window object.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's clear. So with local,
W3 schools, HTML window. HTML tutorials on W3 schools. Check on if they're talking about window. It might be better to understand that. Yeah. HTML.
can't seem to find the window here. Forms, layouts. Okay. Google search. Oh, let's go to screen. Oh yeah. So can you scroll to the top so they can start there? Okay, so the browser object model, the BOM. Oh, I used to know about the DOM. Now we have a BOM. Allows JavaScript to talk to the browser. So the browser object model, there are no official standards for the BOM since modern browsers have implemented almost the same methods and properties for JavaScript interactivity. It is often referred to as methods and properties of the BOM. The window object. Okay, so the window object is supported by all browsers. It represents the browser's window. All global JavaScript objects, functions, and variables automatically become member of the window object. Global variables are properties of the window object. Global functions are methods of the window object. Even the document object of the HTML DOM is a property of the window object. So window.document.getHTML is the same as document.getElement by ID. Okay. So is it clear? So I think all is explained from here. Lucy, you can alight from here to here. From the window to, yeah, to here, to object. Okay, so I think that explains it. Global variables are properties of the window. Lucy. Global variables are properties of the window object, and global functions are methods of the window object. So it's like saying, as Sigu stated, window.location printed, location was a property of the window. So window.location was like a variable of the window object. Yeah, hope it's clear. If it's clear, so anyone who hasn't understood, maybe I can try explaining more, or maybe anyone can help. If it's okay, we can move on. So I have to go back. Yeah, so with JavaScript, the global scope is the complete JavaScript environment. Okay, in HTML, the global scope is the window object. Global variables. All global variables belong to the window object. So the window object can access any global variable in our case. So window.location, window.body, window.everything can be accessed via the console if you want to test. Yeah. So that's basically all about global variables in HTML, if I ain't wrong. So we have a warning here. You have to keep note of these things because they really contribute to bugs in our code. So do not create global variables unless you intend to. So try as much as possible to keep it to local variables. So your global variables or functions can overwrite window variables or functions. Any function, including the window object, can overwrite your global variables and functions. Is it clear? Okay. So the lifetime of JavaScript variables. So the lifetime of JavaScript variables starts when it's declared. Local variables are detected when the function is completed. Pardon? Oh, sorry. Local variables are deleted when the function is completed. Yeah, so when you complete a function, so in our case, this was our local variable. So when we completed access, calling the function, this one was deleted. The name one was deleted. But when you call the function again, it will be accessed and created in our memory. After completion of the function execution, it will be deleted. Okay, so in web browsers, global variables are deleted when you close the browser window or tab. So in our case, when you close the tab, that's when it will be deleted, but remain available to new pages loaded into the same window. Okay, so function arguments or parameters work as local variables inside functions. So if you're not sure what an argument is, maybe I can make a code to show you what an argument is, or just proceed. Can we proceed?
You could show us.
Okay. So let's write a different one, not on names now. So function age. So no, we can't get the age because maybe we can get it. We have to define it first. Age equals to 17. So function get sorry. Function add numbers. And then we pass in two variables, which we have, we can return. So log A plus B and close. So while we call the function add numbers, pass in 1 and 2, give us 3. In our case, our parameters are A and B. So, and in our, okay, we have a difference between the parameters and arguments. So while creating a function, we pass in parameters, but while calling, they're called arguments. Yeah, so these are the parameters, and when we call them arguments. So function called arguments work as local variables inside the functions. Yeah, I hope that's clear. So we move to So maybe next time we will be learning on JavaScript events. Yeah, JavaScript events, maybe through strings and methods we move fast. But I hope you enjoyed the event, the session. Hope I wasn't as boring. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed and learned some things. Yeah. So bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Crafty.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Moses.